back early this time.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Really?
roosters and hens and everything else in between, Caulk Talk is 4 hours early, but 18 minutes late. So that's about right for us. Doing a little early episode as we have a special guest. Then we did not want him to have to come on at 4 a.m. In his time. But as always, from the Coop Collective, I am Tyler at MBF Express. We have our trusty producer doing double time today, Josh at Grateful Coops.
Hello.
The man with the theories, hot off a disappointing baseball tournament from his son, Blake at Model Racing, and our special guest with his awesome website, chicken.tools. We have the Chig here tonight with us. Chig, welcome.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Yeah, we're glad to have you. We're glad to get into a little bit of this. And how are you guys doing tonight?
Doing all right. Hopefully your internet stays together tonight.
We'll see.
You've been a little tronny, but not too bad.
Stay away, Fledge. We'll be all right. I'm in a different spot of the house. A whole lot of light on my face tonight, so you see me real clear today. But yeah, it's been another hell of a week for Chicken Derby. We just had a great update that is starting a little slow because everyone has to get through all these chick races and whatnot. But I think at this point, everyone's got to be pretty pleased with how much this has rolled out, the type of response that we're getting, the type of feedback that it seems like they take from us. And yeah, we're rolling straight along.
Yeah, so far I think that early signs are pointing to, even though the races I haven't had a lot of chance to run my two birds much this weekend. I've got a few races in, but I've seen some chatter, in some of the chats, and I think overall it seems pretty positive with the new classes, but I know that the races are feeling a little bit slower, which of course
they are taking forever.
Yeah.
But I will say the races that have ran, there's more balance, it seems.
Yeah.
The field is more leveled out, and just in the few that I've seen, it does look like this could work. It's just, yes, the chick races almost took me all day yesterday to get through, even with my 17 birds. I'm sure it's taking other coops a while to get through them, and I'm sure they're utilizing every single one of them because there was at first a $12 fee still attached to them, and then they changed it. The devs changed it to $1.90
little update came through
or something like that. But yeah, the people are probably rolling through the chick races, get them out of the way, and then we'll probably hope. I think we'll start to see some races pick back up, and then the other thing is talents. There, I even just saw tonight there was one person that popped in the chat that said, "Hey, what's up? I haven't been here in a while. Need to start paying attention again. I probably won't start racing until talents are live, so I can have all of the data and not skew anything." So, there are those out there just waiting in the wings. So, I think this class edition has been pretty good. I haven't seen many complaints. I've seen some, but nothing. I think it's just the slowness. Egregious. I think we just need to see more wallets and more chickens running, and start seeing these races filtering a little bit. I think the one big complaint has been the pricing. There are a lot of expensive races out there, but and not that many cheaper races. And
I think that they should almost do the more expensive ones as often as they do the free ones, or maybe even a hair less than that. So, and that would keep, if they had sub $5 races. So right now I'm noticing that at least in the D class that I was filtering it in last night, there was at least 6 or 7 races popping up at any given time. What was the number? Does anybody remember? Has it been 6? They see,
about so. Yeah, I can double check for sure, but it's just around that.
I feel like it was a race or two more than what it's been, but I noticed that they're kind of still staggering it out, which it starts $2, $4, $8, $12, and then higher. I really think that they could probably do away with some of those middle ones and do more of those sub $4
the lower end ones. Yeah,
and then as time, kind of randomly drop them out like they do some of the free racing.
Sure.
but we'll see. They're tweaking things as
Chig. Have you found yourself racing yet? And how do you feel about the new update and what we have so far? It's early going, but first initial reactions.
Has been a weekend, and with 2 kids, that's been less time than in weekdays.
Yeah.
So it has been a little bit slow, but I'm racing around 30 chickens at the moment. But I still haven't gotten through the chick races because I had to update my anti-race tool before I actually entered the races. And I raced a lot in the first closed beta, and then my chickens changed a lot after it, so I've been a little bit hesitated, but I'm analyzing more the data now.
Yeah, I'm not quite at the point where everything we have in the past is useless. I don't want to at all go there yet because we need to see the full scope first. But yeah, a lot of those early races have kind of left us scratching our heads. There's been a couple times Josh was texting me today that it seems like a couple of the chickens we thought we had a terrain lockdown on have now pivoted a little bit, but the only thing to worry about right now is that we still like Chig was just saying, he's not even through his chick races yet. I kind of plowed through a couple of them just to get my main racing birds out there. So we're still not racing with a full complement of birds by any means. And I would imagine maybe by midweek, end of the week, we'll start to see a little bit more influx. But yeah, at the moment, races are feeling a bit slow. Well, that's for sure.
This is the other flip side of adding the more classes, which was foresaw by some and talked about. When you split out the more classes from 3 to 4 or 3 to 5, and you only have X amount of wallets racing, you're spreading them out even further, and they're going to fill even slower. And even up the week leading up to the class change, races were starting to slow down, and a lot of that was people waiting for the new classes. So I think this week with some proper, once we get out and we see the new classes play out, maybe more people start jumping in more races. They'll get their chick races filled out. I think we'll start seeing a little more improvement on that end. And then once the word of talents come out, then you better believe it.
Yeah, and we're working on a scale development. One fix here makes the other side overweighted or underweight. So it's all a balancing act. And I think if nothing else, from the start, I'm at least seeing in the A and B races chickens that should be against each other, flat out. Like I haven't seen so many yet that have made me kind of go, wait, that chicken's still here? Okay, that's frustrating. So there's a couple of chickens that are trapped a little bit higher if they did well in their chick races, but things should even out over time. We do just need more people entering once they get through the chick races. But all in all, still feels like a very good step in the right direction.
Absolutely. And Whammo, I believe I turned myself up a little bit for you since you want to hear my beautiful voice so bad. But yeah, I know why a lot of people are here, and that is to talk to the Chig here. And he's got a awesome site that will help you break down your chickens, what has happened, what's been raced, your entire coop you can search from, and that is chicken.tools. And he's not the only one. Cam V, I believe, is the other name from the Discord that is also in on this, so he could not be here tonight. But the Chig, I think I'll let you kind of start talking about, what made you guys lead into getting this started.
Yeah, go ahead. Cam V was the one which introduced me to Chicken Derby. Like, he was into Zed. Like, Chicken Derby is actually my first NFT. So I've moved a lot of my ETH from Binance, which I had most of my ETH, and I did some trading there, and I started buying some chickens in Chicken Derby. So I bought about 10 chickens in the first drop, and then 20 in the second drop, and I think I have around 62 now.
Dang.
And
that's ballsy. That's ballsy to just say, you know what, I'm getting in. But this was the right. Yeah, we all know it's the right kind of project. But yeah, that's awesome.
But I had gone for. I'm going for a lot of chickens, and I don't have the best chickens, but I have a lot of them. so it's
yeah.
I'm going for. I didn't want to buy the too expensive chickens, but a lot of them are floor birds with like 30, 93, 94, and so on. And then I got lucky on some of the mint. But Canvey introduced, he had some code from Sedge, where he listened to market events and OpenSea, where he listed, where he had a Discord bot that listed good markets and good buys. So we started out with doing that for Chicken Derby, and we had our own Discord bot, and we bought chickens which were underpriced. And some of them I sold, some of them I kept. And then we started thinking we could do more with this data. So we started storing it in a database, and that and to us creating Finder, where you can see all the market events. And we were a little inspired by Know Your Horse. And the market idea was to earn money on the reference to OpenSea. But we found out that that does not work anymore. But we decided, yeah. But we decided to make it public anyway, and since we already made it, and it's a nice way for people to find chickens for sale. And then Canvey used that data to make the floor app, which is inspired by Butterman's floor charts.
Nice.
So that's where we got the inspiration for that one. And then when racing started, I was not happy with the data which was in the results page. I think they were missing a lot of data and details. So I created results so I could actually see more of the data on the chickens that were racing. And then when the Chicken Derby removed the show my results button, it gave us a really good chance for marketing.
For sure.
Yeah, sure did. Yeah. I was living on your site.
I gotta write my damn races down.
Yeah.
Actually,
I remember.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I just remember people were like clicking through, like, I need more data. How do I load more pages? Like, I need it all now.
So actually, I'm gonna let you take control of the screen here and let you kind of just drive through the Chicken Tools page, and we can go from there.
Thank you.
Yeah, that way we can get a nice breakdown of everything that this tool has to offer. And I really like how customizable it is. I in the early days, Blake, in the early days, we were just like grinding through those. We were looking at like every little thing and getting real niche for a minute. We had some thoughts in the early days when we were driving through those tools.
Yeah, yesterday I listened to the first episode just for fun of Cock Talk.
Oh man!
I honestly should do that again and go back to episode 1, or at least the YouTube one.
It's been a minute.
The first one we did was audio because I didn't have the live stream set up, which you can find on like Spotify and other things like that.
It was fun. You had a lot of cock jokes, Josh.
Yeah,
really?
Really, I don't remember. We were finding our way back then, man. I don't want to listen to him. I know Wamola said he went through and listened to all of them, and I'm like, nope, I don't want to do that. That's fine. You guys can do it.
I have not listened to it. I listened to the very first one, like 10 seconds. I was like, oh, I can't do it. I can't listen to myself. There's something about hearing myself back.
See, and I would stay up every night and listen to the episode over again just to make sure that there was nothing.
I'll listen to it once.
Or dumb.
Yeah.
I'll listen
to it once
I need
just
to
to
like
make
go
sure.
and fix. Like I'm pretty sure there was one podcast where I left it recording and didn't stop it and didn't edit it and then just threw it up there, and then there was just some not like bad things said, but it was just dumb things that were not necessary.
Oh yeah.
It's fun to go back and listen to the theories.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that.
I was thinking like I might put together like a year in review episode once we get to a year. And once we hit 52 episodes, just to go back and just see or hear some of the dumbass things we said on this show.
Not far from now. That's ridiculous, really. It's not that far from here. But all right, yeah. Looks like we got the tool up.
We got the tool up. I just want to remind you guys, we are 2 back-end developers and not front-end. So it's not the prettiest site, but we focus more on the data.
So these spaces, that's all that matters. Yeah.
Yeah. So both the results page and this start page, I did it in one evening when Chicken Derby removed the My Results page. So we did a bit rebranding, and We bought chicken.tools. And right now we have 3 tools, which are the Finder, Floor, and Results. And we have the top donors now is Joss Kent Street, Sambo from Aussie Bred Chickens, and Crypto Puppy. So they all have
very familiar
all
faces.
good dudes.
Yep, all familiar faces. Yep.
Absolutely.
I can start with the Chicken Finder. I just want to show first a cheat a bit here. I entered all my my wallets to show that you can actually show multiple wallets at the same time. Because I have.
That's helpful. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, because I have them spread out in 3 wallets. I don't have them in a wallet if I'm not raising them.
Sure.
And this is the only place where I can actually look at all of them at the same place and see what I have. So you can see I only have 1 Cerama. So I have a lot of Lackenvelders and Dorkings.
Still.
And yeah.
It's a lot of good range though too.
It's got a good range.
Perfections, yeah.
Yeah, most the perfection 90 is they all have nose rings, or I see you have 1 which has nothing, which I might consider selling at some point.
Yeah.
But I tried to like sell 90 91s and then buy 92 93s for the same amounts.
The old chip up game, yeah.
Yeah.
Did a little bit of that.
Yeah,
I did a little
familiar.
bit of that, and I didn't stop. And I didn't stop.
And you
now
got
I have
everything on
nothing
there.
on the floor.
Backgrounds, waddles.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you got all the properties.
Mhm.
So it's nice to see when you're going to sell your bird as well. Like if I want to sell this 90 and maybe you can see here there's nothing there. Like you can see that the ring is orange, which means that it's special.
Yeah.
And also if you have, if you look through it, you can see that white beaks are white.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have, I have 13 white beaks.
Damn.
Yeah, this beats the hell out of having to go through OpenSea and then just, me memorizing the numbers so I can know what the perfections are, but now everything's named and nothing showed up. So yeah, this is nice that it's all right there and it all can kind of just kick through. I love it.
I can show you how I usually use it. Like when I search for nothing, you get all the chickens pretty quick. And then it's listed by last sold date. So if I want to buy a chicken, I usually first I list by low to high, and then it's listed true. So then you get the cheapest one at the market right now, which is 0.28. And if I have a budget, let's say 0.2, I can put that in. And then I can see, maybe it's a bit slow.
Oh, you put 0.2.
Yeah, okay, let's say 0.10. Okay, let's put a bit cheaper. Okay, 0.1. I usually go a bit up. Like I see there's still 26 sultans. Okay, so there's 394 sultans for less than 0.1. So that's usually how I do it when I look through it and see if I can find something special. So I filter through and I look at the stats.
I'll be back. Buy a chicken.
Yeah. No, seriously, that is awesome. I mean, that's saving me having to hit the refresh button on OpenSea about 1,000 times just to type in 5 different things I want to search. That's doing it on my phone if I'm really being lazy, but still, this is great.
It's basically a nice way to go through the data. Like now I see cold snap, it's only 90, 91 Dorking, but if I click cold snap and suddenly there was a 94 Sultan there, then it's a good deal. So it's
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I found most of my chickens here or on the floor app. I see, and here's some really old ones. So if you don't put listed true, then you can get some really old prices.
Oh man.
Yeah. OpenSea had a bug which sent all these to us. It's
not OpenSea.
No.
Like we have had a lot of issues listening to OpenSea. So that's why we also listen to Polygon Scan in this tool.
Mm-hmm.
So right now we only listen for the list, not for the transfers. So the owners are correct. But the plan for the future as well is to also listen to sales. So the sales are also updated from Polygon Scan.
Makes sense.
It's a bit more reliable than OpenSea.
Absolutely. I think I'll have to start utilizing that if I ever get ETH again. But when I'm liquid, I'll be looking at that for the deals because it saves, I can sit there for 20 minutes just clicking through. Well, let's look at the Sultans. Well, let's raise the perfection floor up to like 94. Oh, let's see which rare talents are out there. And have to go through and click one and have to reload it just to click another one.
Yeah.
This looks great.
It's see, but they might be up to like a 5-minute delay, and that's because of the way it's indexed. So it's not going straight to the database because that would be
sure, yeah, and nothing's
expensive.
really going to be faster than just recently listed. Like if you're playing that game where you're just trying to find people listing stuff way too cheap off the bat, then it's going to be hard for that one. But this is good because things sit there for a long time, and you start scanning through, you start wondering like, geez, how has this been sitting there for a minute? And it just gets lost in the shuffle sometimes. So that's a nice little tool to try to grab people in.
Yeah.
Oh, are those the floorboards?
This is the floorboards, yeah.
Wow. Look at that RV.
It's not there anymore. I went and checked, and cool Airman bought it already. I was like, damn, I had enough for that.
Hang on
there, man. I see him out on the tracks. That's a good addition. Wait
you can see.
Yeah, he just got it too. Pissed me off.
92 Rama on the floor, though.
There you can see it's 3 minutes until the next update. So here we can actually see.
Yeah, he literally just got it. Yeah.
Yeah, that can be annoying if it's.
It was like as I clicked it, it showed that it was still there, and I clicked it, and then he said he bought it 1 minute ago, and I was like, "Yeah, you."
Rip.
Yes, I often use the Floor app when I'm going to list birds if there's nothing special about them.
Sure.
And there are some hidden features here. So here you can see you have Dorking 90, which is 28. But if you click on the listed for sale, then you can also see other talents. So you can see.
Oh, it gives you a little bit of reference point. That's nice.
Yeah, so you can actually go to the birds, which has different talents. So if I go to, Leckenvelder, you can see the 0.29. But if you are going to helicopter, then you got 34. And you can click directly on the numbers, and they go directly to OpenSea. So you can buy it. So that's for perfection and heritage. Then we have a talent floor where you can list for talent. So of course, Black Hole is the most expensive one. That's a 91 perfection Dorking. And then our own VB floor because we both have white beak.
Yeah, you
birds.
had quite a few white beaks in there. That's sure to make Daniel grin a little bit. No,
I was in.
Us have white beaks. We don't know what they do yet, but white beak.
Yeah, my theories have been debunked.
They have done well.
Yeah.
There might be more happening when talents come.
Yep. And that has been speculated. I don't remember which one of you two came up with that one, but the deflection of talents per se. Probably the bottom guy who's muted. We can't hear him. Blake.
I think we got a couple theories on the white beaks.
There you go.
Maybe cold snap doesn't work.
So the paint, I think the picture of them painting the other bird, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what. I don't know. I can't remember.
So all those other beak colors are artificial, and white is.
White is pure, yeah, and there's a long beak at the finish line, which was the bottom.
No,
so no. I wanted it to be true, but it was just a glitch.
That was a floor app. I don't know if you guys want to know anything else.
That's okay. I like the it looks very awesome. It gives you an image of which bird it is on the floor. I like how it shows the amount listed on the right hand side of each bird and talent. I'm assuming that's per, how many of those talents are listed.
Yeah, it's basically just the cheapest bird with that talent.
I gotcha.
So black hole, it's 91 dorking, and with fan group, it's a 90 Leckenmelder and so on. So we don't have any more details here at the moment, but
I gotcha.
I mostly use this one or the white beak floor.
Still though, when I go to look for which bird I want, it's heritage perfection, and then I check the talents. Mostly cosmetics. If it's the only time I'd ever really think about buying a cosmetic is if I just happen to see that cosmetic at the floor I'm looking at, and then it's like, oh, maybe I think I need to want to buy this bird. No, I think it's all
until
great.
we figure out more about them, and then it starts jumping again. But yeah, the cosmetics definitely had a little bit of a early love, and seeing them not do much in racing yet has turned it down a little bit. But there's time. Those talents still going to flip everything on its head.
Yeah, I think it will.
So the results. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, the results. It's the next one. So I can show. If you go directly to results, it is 52,347 records right now.
Wow.
So it might take a while if you're gonna load all of them. So that's why we have an example here where you can use pages. So if you use from and to pages, we have an example link here which you can click. So this is from 1 to 2. That means that it actually shows only page 1. So you can see it's 1,200 entries. So it means that for one page there is 100 races. So if there are 12 chickens in each race, then you have 1,200 entries. But some races has less, so that is not always correct. But a lot of people have struggled lately to actually download all of the data, and then I recommend using pages. So if you want to just have like the first 1,000 races and download them, you can have from 1 to 11. And since it starts from the beginning, this is static, so it will never change.
Oh, even better. Yeah, that's really helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the reason why I did the paging this way, was so I could actually cache them or just store them in static files, and then it's only so it's like reverse paging. So if you have newest first, then it's impossible to cache. So I would recommend to like store 10 and 10 pages or something like that if you're going to export them, because it's starting to get really hard to do it. But
yeah, and that'll make sense too. Obviously, when we kind of want to break down the sections in which the races happened, and obviously we'll be looking to do that now that once talents hit again, we're going to be almost looking to redo entire sections again and just start it from that point. So it makes a lot of sense. It makes it customizable. That's nice.
Yeah, but the results page here was just something I created one night because there weren't any results in Chicken Derby, and you can search for your owner. So of course, if your coop is my coop, then you have a problem. But
it's so easy to change it. Someone even named theirs like boring coop name. It's like, you know what? That's fine. I'll take that. I'll take boring coop
There
name.
is someone out there that just changed their name from my coop to my coop with 3 O's instead of 2. I have seen that coop running around on the tracks. I found that kind of funny. I could double take that one a second. Wait a minute.
But at least here you can search for the owner, and it will take a really long time if you load everything right now, because everything is loaded to front end. And this was meant to be a temporary solution because we are working on doing this backend for the future. So it's a tool so people can download it. But using these filters when you load all the data is becoming really slow. But it will be replaced with a better one in the future. But you can use it to download and export to Excel, and people can make their own Excel charts.
Yeah, I still spent a lot of time here as I liked how customizable it was. I liked how I could just go through and pick out every little thing. That was an easy click through. And I spent a lot of time here in the early days, especially when the results just kind of disappeared, which was nice to have in the early time.
Yeah. You can also calculate the ROI. I think I have okay, not too bad, Roy.
No, that's better than mine.
I would show that all day.
I don't even want to know what mine is.
Yeah, it was only 42 races, I see, but yeah, in those pages. But that's this next thing I want to show is the tools which we are working on now, which are more
and these are the premium tools.
It's a premium tools, yeah. And this is, I'm going to show them in the proof of concept format right now because we are creating them in a bit nicer layout. And also not going directly to the data source as we do now, because that will also can be too heavy. Right. So it's called just call it anti-race app for now. And if you go to this URL, then you will get to a login, which you won't get past. But people can try, see if they can break it. So for now, you can enter in your chicken token IDs, and it will show your chickens which you have. We might also add in import for a Coop if you want for the premium tool. But basically, if I load this page, it will get the data from my chickens. It will tell you if they're in the barn or if they're in a race. It will show the results, how many races they have, and the earning, and which class they're in. It will then show all the active races, which matches your chicken class. So right now, it only automatically show Chig and B. So here you can see the chicken which match. Which I have a lot of Chig right now, so that's why it matches with these. But if I click on the ID right now, it will analyze the chickens which are in the race. So you can see there are 10 chickens already in the race. There's not too much data yet, but I can see, yeah, these two have too much. There's almost none that I've actually run on this terrain and distance. But you can see,
I remember
this chicken, yeah.
I was just going to say, what you're seeing here is, correct me if I'm wrong. I know I was trying to half interjecting into this conversation, but in the Coop Collective general chat, you and Spiver and MJs were having a conversation on what this all means, and it's from what I gathered, essentially, it's the combination of all your races and the pop you've either gained or lost. Correct?
Yeah, that's correct. So this chicken he's had one race on this terrain and distance, which means that it could have gotten a max of 4 pop. So he apparently came in 3rd place and got 1 pop, which means that he has 25% of the max pop he could have gotten. And if he lost, it would have gotten -3 pop. I still haven't updated this after they changed it from from -3 to -4 again.
Yeah, and actually, if you go to the tutorial, they have it all updated with the new pecking orders and the new classes. And actually, it was a new one on me. I didn't know this, but it actually goes 42100000124. Yeah,
it's the same as it was in the beginning. So
I assume it went 3-2, or 432. 432.
Yeah, it's always been 421. I mean, yeah. But so I need to change this back to -4. So it still shows -3. But that's basically the idea. So if you have 50% plus and 50% minus, then you have a perfect U-shaped bird, because that means that it either comes first or it comes last. So it's just a simple way to show how this chicken does in both. And you can probably look at this bird. Now this bird has a lot in the distance. So that this bird has had 48. Yeah, it has 11 races in this distance. So it has gotten 12 pop out of 48 possible. That means that it could have gotten first, it could have gotten fourth, but you can see that by going directly to the bird's stats, and you can see how it's done on the terrain and how it's done on the distance. This is also going to be a part of like the premium tool, and also the races are here down there for the bird. They will also be able to export for each bird.
You guys having fun watching me move the camera screen around?
Yeah. You're doing a good job.
Trying to move around so everybody can see where his mouse is.
You're making it work.
Like,
gosh. Yeah, this is all good stuff. This is all super detailed stuff. I like what I'm seeing.
So I usually use this when I race my birds, because I see if I have like 50% and there's no one other birds which have 50%. Okay, then I try and enter it. And that's basically what I do right now when I race, because 99% of the time I race from my phone, because the little time I have code when I'm in front of the computer. So I'm dependent on having these apps to race from my phone. So I don't have time to update Excel sheets and so on. So I have to have it automated.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense. You live in that world.
Yeah.
You need that thing, and you can do it. So.
Like I'm racing 30 birds now, and if I'm going to have 30 Excel sheets and do that manually, that would take a lot longer than I have to develop it.
Yeah.
So Bob Jerry in the chat asks, any ideas on the premium price?
Yeah. That's up to the users. I'm going to explain that. It's I discussed this with Canby, and we decided that this premium tools will be available for all top donors. And top donors means the top donors now, which means the top 3 in the past and in the future. So right now, you have to beat Crypto Puppy to actually be a top donor, and the more people who donate, the more expensive it will be. The cheap person actually donated 5 Matic, which was a first donator. She's a top donor because she was the first. So the people who donated early are top donors, and the people who have donated the most now are top donors. Was that understandable?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So what would we be looking at right now if someone was looking to get the next donor spot? So I guess you'd have to dethrone Poppy at this point. And although he would still keep the tools.
Damn you,
himself,
Poppy, for your generosity.
So basically, if it has never been, it will never be as cheap as it is now.
Right.
Say it that way.
Right. Yeah, so all you got to do is outbid Poppy, and anybody in the past that has been a top donor will have access to the tool.
But I don't expect people to go down and dig through the whole history. Like basically, if it says here on the page that it's 0.15, then you have to pay more than 0.15.
Yeah,
so
it could be 0.1501.
It could be, yeah.
Depending on how people play it.
Yeah.
So it depends also. It's also up to the users how many people they want to join. So it's if you want to have few users, then you donate a lot and you push the price up. If you want more people to have it, you donate less. So it's
I guess the only thing I can bring up there, any fear that just one person could donate a lot and then cause, it to be kind of unattainable moving forward. I mean, I'm not sure anyone would really do that. You never know in this space, but
even if one person comes in and say drops 1, the lowest would then become Sambo at 0.2.
Yes, that's fair. 0.2. That's fair. Yeah.
So only once it's cycled out, if 3 people came in and just were, I say, a-holes. No, I'm kidding. Generous ones at that. Because no, the donations are what keeps this thing living, and I assume it makes it grow. So I mean, by all, this is great. By all means.
Like right now, we just started a Discord channel, and like we have 2 roles at the moment. We have donors, and then we have top donors. So that's the 2 tiers we have at the moment. So like there will be some benefits of being just a donor, and there will be benefits of being a top donor, and maybe we will introduce more tiers in between at the moment. But for the tool we are creating now, that's for top donors. So some of the tools we create in the future will be free, some will be for top donors, and some might be in between.
Oh, I think that's great. So on the tool, anything else that you'd like to go over or show us with what you got, or anything in the pipe that you guys are going to be coming out with possibly?
It's also, I can show, I forgot to show one thing. It's like you can look at the chicken and see its stats. And then you can also go to the race and see the stats for one specific race. That's also something which will be there, so you can actually analyze all the races which you have been in.
Mm-hmm.
So this data updates the more people race. So even if this was an old race, this would update the more these chickens race in the future.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So you can actually see, okay, they got first and they ended up, like you see, he has 56%. So he has a lot more than the rest. And so you can use it to analyze and see how this bird has done in multiple races, and how the other birds performed in the future after the rains performed. And we also plan to add filters here, so you can actually use dates. So you can have to and from dates.
Nice. At Tigger asks, if you disconnect from the original data source, what's the rollover feed schedule?
I don't even understand the question. Can you repeat that?
If you disconnect from the original data source, what is the rollover feed schedule? I guess I'm not really understanding either.
Yeah, it went over my head too. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Tigger, if you want to do a little bit more on that, yeah.
I guess I don't know if he's asking like, I don't know, maybe if you take away the original data, how quickly does the new data come into the page? That's kind of the way I read it.
Yeah.
It should be free, and I think we run at least every minute now. So once we have everything running as smooth as we want to run, it should be less than a minute before the new data comes in.
Gotcha.
But the one thing we do now is basically at the moment I download all the races and I do this front end, because like the pop and stuff is not stable yet. But once more of the data is stable, then we will also aggregate more data, and then it will be quicker. So we don't actually have to calculate this on the fly each time. But as long as the pop keeps changing to -3 and -4 and so on, then we have to just wait a bit. And as long as there's less than like 10,000 races per bird, it's not a big problem.
Right.
And we can also do it back in here.
Yeah, no, this looks like a real quality tool to get your hands on. Yeah, obviously a little pricey, but you're paying for something nice here. If you want to get your hands on it, that's nice. Chicken.tools obviously is where this is set up at, and they're going to keep adding some stuff to it. So yeah, this is a nice platform right here, man. I really appreciate you taking us through this and just getting us really initiated on it.
Yeah.
Initially, I just created this for myself because I wanted a way to raise my birds, and then I shared some screenshots. There was some interest, so
absolutely. I mean, there's
We
people
decided
out
to-
there that are trying to collect all this data just by hand, and this would just save them hours and hours and hours of time. And actually, at Whamola asked how do you get to that page? Do you have a way to verify for that?
How you get to the page? Well, it's not open for anyone yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
It's,
he can't
so
use
it's
it
coming,
yet,
yeah.
Whamola.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming.
Like you can go to the page, but then you will just come to a login.
Right on. All right. Well, no, I think it all looks great, and I like I've seen you showing some stuff in the chat. People asking, well, what's my bird gonna do in this race? And then you show it off, and then they're like, all right, we'll see. So no, it's great. I think it's just the more tools for this game, the better. And once we get down the road with everything, I assume a lot of people will start gravitating towards this just so they can take the shortcut of. I don't need to go and collect all this data where I have it right here at my fingertips.
And like if you have like 100 birds, it's it's not easy to keep it up to date manually.
Sure.
So it's but if everyone has the tool, then there's no benefit.
Right.
That's great.
Understandable.
Yeah,
all right,
so
good stuff.
If I could get the screen back from you. Pretty please.
Yeah, okay.
Shoot. We will go into the dev blog.
Yeah, we can run ourselves through the dev blog a little bit and see what else we got coming up. Obviously, with all these new races coming out, using chicken.tools and best you can to go through makes a lot of sense. So yeah, this was a great tool. I really appreciate you sharing it with us. So
absolutely.
Let's go ahead and as soon as you're ready, Josh, let's start working through and see what is upcoming for this week for Chicken Derby.
I keep cutting Blake's head off.
It's okay.
Oh, no, it's bad.
There. No. We had a rogue commenter.
We always do. There's always someone that comes through. We'll take care of them.
I got it. It's all right. We still love you. Right. Dev blog. Cluck chicken folks. This is the dev blog. Love it, Deli. Keep it coming. Since last week's blog, we've seen another 1,943 races ran and another 24.88 ETH given out. The 120 distance seems to be the favorite still, and track has taken over the lead as the favorite terrain. Last week they mentioned that the implementation of 2 new pecking orders, that is the super class and the D class, they have finished the documentation and started the development. They did get that rolled out later. I believe it was Saturday morning. It was kicked off for us in the U.S., and it has gone as follows. The classes were added, and the new pop scores were adjusted. They did break down that birds were going to be added pop for, for sake of where they started, just so they could get classed into the right place. But no, it looks good. S class is 90 to 110. The A class is now from 50 to 70 to now 70 to 89, and et cetera. As you just need to go to the announcements page and you can check this little graphic out here. And
so far this has been pretty straightforward. Yeah, it really seems like it's sorted out properly so far.
And I expect this to, this iteration. I expect the pop scores probably to change over time as breeding comes into play. I think this is something that's going to change many times over as the game goes on.
Right. And the other thing,
it almost seems like it has to. Yeah.
The other thing to take note is the prize pool, the max entry fee for these classes are tiered to where the super class will have the highest entry points. So that is a little bit of an incentive for you to be, if you want to make the big bucks, you're going to have to play with the big boys, so it's, or the big birds, I should say, rather. So the max entry fees is the maximum amount the entry fee for a race can be within that pecking order. So higher pecking order chickens have the potential to race in bigger races for bigger prizes. There is no minimum limit, so sub $5 and free races will be available, in all pecking orders. Once they're ready to deploy, They did pause the automatic race generation, and then they added this bonus pop to all the birds, and you could see how it tiered out. The heritages, it was cut off at 95 for the Sultans. It looks like all the Saramas got a plus 10 at least up to 95, and then it was 20 to 98, and then 99 and 100 each got 30 and 35 respectively. The Dorkings seemed safe. Only the 99 and 100s got the buff. So 98 and below Dorks, you stayed right at the pop you were, which in my case, Jackie Daytona had a 17 pop, so she nestled her way right into D class, right where I expected her.
I think Dave was like, they go down to 17.
I have an 11
Dave.
pop. I have an 11.
Oh, no.
Man. So
Happy birthday's running like an 11 pop.
That's ridiculous.
Not yet.
So
birthday.
the bonus pop will help expedite the process of getting chickens close to their appropriate pecking orders, which they, I assume, did. It's just not many. I don't know if many people knew about the update. It is the weekend. It did roll out on a Saturday. People have been complaining about races being slower and all that. I think we'll see that pick up more this week, and also once people start getting out of their chick races. They've also noticed a lot of requests for more free races, particularly more chick races. So now they have added 7 chick races to the pool. So if you have an unraced chicken, you get 7 chick races. For a lot of us degenerates that raced the shit out of our birds and closed and open beta, we got an additional 6 chick races that we could run with each of our birds. So all chickens who have already raced will be put back to the pecking order chick. They'll keep their existing pop races, winnings, etc., and be allowed to race 6 more chick races. In addition, we'll be returning pop lost from coming in last place from -3 to -4, as well as adding 17 new races, including some more free ones, bringing the total up to 178 races. Thank you, everyone, for being patient with us while we're still working on the game balancing. We've been running an open beta for only 2 weeks. That's it. We've been in open beta for 2 weeks, and we've seen adjustments.
Feels like a lot longer.
And it feels like we've been doing this for months almost. And it was just months ago that we were like, win racing. So they're fairly confident in the changes that they will deliver a better experience for everybody. And like I said, this class change was necessary to help get some of those birds that were stuck in classes back where they belong. And I think I've even seen some noticeable difference in some of the races have just looked like they are balancing out a lot better, the ones that have been going and filling. So yes, they are confident in these changes, and they will continue to closely monitor how chickens are distributed amongst the pecking orders. So they will, they're not afraid to make more changes if they need to, if this happens to not work. So
these races are really starting to look like they're primed for the talents.
Yeah.
There's some movement, there's some surge at the end, but it looks like they're really setting these up for the talents to be the mayhem.
As it should.
So, other quality of life improvements, check out the following. This was suggested in the Chicken Derby channel of adding a little indicator of which birds you have chickens in, and it does give you a 1 and 2 chicken bar here. I love that. So now
Very
it
helpful.
doesn't quite show up on mobile, at least on my phone, but on the desktop
No, not
version,
yet for me either, but yeah.
On the desktop version, it is very nice to see where you're at. Because I will click on a race 10 times and be like, oh, yeah, I'm already in that one.
Yep, I'm done. Yep.
Soon you'll be able to tell at a glance which races you have chickens entered, the blue tab. Yep, just went over that. Finally, here's some art that they had commissioned for some potential merchandise down the road. They wanted us to let them know. I love it. Steampunk. Love it. Sounds like my daughter is not having a good time.
Is that guy going to be floating around the metaverse somewhere, just like hanging around?
Yeah, just
probably.
I like it.
Drifting
I like the
off
look,
in the abyss of the sky always. So I look up and there's this creepy thing looking down on me.
Maybe it drops random cosmetics out of it as it flies overhead of the metaverse.
There it is. We needed some.
And goggles on the top hat.
It's going to drop you some. It's like a blimp.
Here we go. Hopefully it doesn't drop on you. That's cool. I love all the artwork they've been throwing out. I think it's perfect.
Yeah, and that is the dev blog. So, how you guys been faring this week in the races? Any
Not great, but I think it's mainly because I'm just like fishing and grabbing whichever ones are close to being filled up, because we obviously are still waiting. They're a little bit slow, but by and large, I can just tell from the races that are being ran that the competition is evening out the way that it should. Mm-hmm. The lower end stuff is way easier to run. I don't think twice before putting a 91 Dorking into a race right now, because I feel confident that they can actually have a little bit of a chance to win. I actually had one win today that was a 91, and it had a whole smattering of different guys in there. There wasn't anything too crazy, but I think it beat like a 97 Lakenvelder. So it does feel like now the lower birds have an advantage to be ran, and maybe we'll just start seeing more people deciding to do so.
Yeah. Whamola brought up a good point that we did not talk about, and that is that the little animation that they love to throw in little things all the time for us. If you've paid attention and watched a race, sometimes at the beginning of the race, you'll see a chicken just stand up and cock-a-doodle-doo, like he's ready to go.
I saw somebody post that, but I've yet to see it in an actual race yet on any of the races.
I've seen mine do it. It doesn't... Has anyone else noticed the bird chirping at the start? When they're standing at the starting line?
Yep.
So I've asked the question, is that a tell of that bird's just going to run away with it? And the answer is not always. I've seen some instances where it gets podium, and I've seen an instance where it gets 9th place. And it's like,
so it's just as random as the lane assignments, basically.
Right.
It's like lane 3 is the chirper.
But it doesn't do it every race.
Right.
It hasn't happened every race. You just see it once in a while. And I think it's pretty cool. I love it. If that's a tell that your bird's raring and ready to go on the consistency side of things, like
it also has to do with
visual cues to let you know that something is there.
You think it has to do with gender, you say?
Yeah, because I saw this it's called gender bonus BAWK. I saw it in the results data, so I asked Apex about it, and he told me that there was this what you are describing.
Oh,
gender bonus BAWK is what it's called.
Yeah.
So it's just roosters that cock-a-doodle-doo?
I think it's the hens. I think it's the one that for me that did it was a hen. So I mean that's just one, but I guess we'll see. I mean we'll throw it out there.
As gender gets a bonus for that race, like it's a random bonus, or do you think it's all?
It could just be something fun. I mean, I know they want to do that. They've talked about how much they want to make these things more fun and have little things, and it's just fun to see some personality out of your birds too. So yeah, I would be very surprised if it was something that really gave an advantage, because obviously I've seen some run away with it, and I had 2 that both did it and they finished 10th and 11th. So I don't know if the thing is there yet. It's probably just a cute little thing.
When's the one where you see the bird like looking like he's sleeping and there's Z's there and the gun like startles him and he like runs out of the gate?
Well, yeah, we talked about that before forever ago, that we might see that from like the sleepy eye one where they might just like startle up, or the cracked eye that might like jump or something. It's just anything to make it fun.
I want to see a lineup too of the chickens coming into the gates.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe where it shows you the chicken name and their owner and what their record is real quick. And
I think we're going to get a lot of that. Yeah.
Maybe you can skip by it if you want, but it adds a whole show essentially in like 5 minutes of a race,
I think that's coming. Yeah.
But that would also, I guess if the races are filling, it works. People will watch the races, but right now,
sure. All the more reason just to watch races. That's the thing. I think getting people to actually want to watch them every single time, that's going to drive interest instead of just clicking a button and checking results.
Mm-hmm. Even though that's what I do on my phone when I can't get to the laptop. It's like, well, let's enter races, and it's like, well, I can't
until they're good on mobile. Once they're good on mobile, I'll watch them. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't even always check the results. I just check the stats.
Check the wallet. Yeah. Well, didn't make any money that time. All right.
Get it right there. I'll figure it out later.
So anything pressing you guys wanted to talk about this week as far as the chicken derby world and racing, and any strategies, theories, things like that come to mind? Changing your angle as far as now we have more classes. What are you doing with your birds?
Man, at the moment, I'm just excited that they're going to go full tilt into talents, and they're becoming soon. And, I'm just kind of still trying to figure out just some basic stuff. I'm not going too hard. I haven't done anything over like $9 yet. I won't do it. Not until I have a better idea, since I'm definitely still working through some theories and whatnot. So it's just data collecting still, right now, trying not to lose all my money doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like one thing our analysis has shown is that each bird has to be raised because there's so many different birds which looks the same.
Right.
And we also seen pretty big changes on some updates.
Yes.
Right.
Like I'm pretty sure that some of the birds has had terrain preference which has changed. So I hope they get more stable. So they're not so we can actually figure it out and it stays stable.
Right.
Yeah, that's a hard one to tell because it just made me wonder, like, did a bird that was just better than the other ones that kept running on track, so I kept winning on track, and the numbers show that this is a great track bird, but now that they're going up against competition that's a little bit more their level, now track isn't working. So yeah, the stability there will definitely help, and will get us to understand our birds a little bit more streamlined because we're just picking and choosing right now.
But I think it's easier to figure out if it's a good runner before talents. Because after talents,
that's fair, yeah.
Every bird can become a U-bird.
Yeah.
It's
true, yeah.
You never know.
So this little pocket we're in right now could actually be some of the best data we're getting.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what the talent they have. I mean, if you have a bird that's not running well, but they have a good talent, I mean, it may boost it a little bit.
But what if you have a U-shaped bird and you have like a chicken pult and it throws you from 12th place to like 6th place? That's bad.
Yeah, that's frustrating. That's the thing. We don't know anything about that. Yeah, that could be just as triggering as anything.
Yeah, you're saying as far as like trying to
locked in
downclass.
your 12. Yeah, locked in your 12, and now you're 6 because of the chicken pole.
And
yeah,
it catapults into 4th. Pain.
That's the randomness. That's the variance that's going to make this really interesting once we see it, man. That's too true.
How many talents we're going to see that don't have an impact on the podium like that? Like that scenario wouldn't really have an impact on the podium, and that would be a talent that went off in a race. So if that means there's only one other talent or two maybe that's going off.
Assume that's going to happen in a lot.
Yeah,
because there's so many common talents. Common talent isn't going to guarantee you a podium. Your talent could go off. You're in 12th, and you just get 10th. It's just like he's laid out there. That's
I mean, just the same as like CK47 shooting you down, and they don't podium, and then you don't podium, and no one transaction properly on that one, and someone else wins. So you can still benefit from other people's talents. Which
talent would you choose for a U-shaped bird?
I don't know. I want a bird with defense.
I think it would have blue.
Yeah. I'm not worried about his talent. I want a bird with good defense.
I think I'd want a rare, if I wanted a good U-shaped bird, I would hope it has like a ultra rare talent or a rare talent.
Yeah, but you also want a talent which does not bring you from the back and to the front or to the middle.
True.
Like that.
Yeah, the ones that shoot you forward.
Machete, maybe?
Yeah. I was thinking blue egg, because if that only takes out the first place, then it would only affect you if you run good and not if you run bad.
Right.
Yeah.
And in that regard, Anvil will drop something probably in proximity. So if it's needed, if you're in the front and you drop in proximity, then that's helpful. And you're in the back and it won't hurt you too bad. Maybe one person drops behind you. But in the end, that could have been a lot worse. Whereas Blue Rooster going off in the back and shooting you into 6th place is brutal.
Yep.
Very true. Very true.
I've been thinking a lot about these kind of scenarios and what I would choose for U-shaped birds and what I would prefer.
Yeah, once we start seeing them start initiating, it's going to bring up. It's going to be we're going to need like 3 shows a week with me, let alone Blake when that starts coming up. Yeah, we're just going to have to kick Josh off the show and we'll do all of this yelling.
Yeah, my kids are being awesome.
Yeah, that's all good.
Anyway,
well, yeah, I guess the last thing we want to touch on, just a little bit navel gazing on our own, right, Josh? We want to get ourselves a little bit of a pub for the Coop Collective NFT barn drive, or
the Coop Collective 548 NFT. We are doing a little barn drive giveaway. So the next 50 sales of our NFT that are sold, will unlock various tiers of giveaway birds, and they're not slouch birds. They're good birds. There's 97s. There's a vampire. There's rare talents. I mean, there's a blue egg like we were just talking about on a 97 with candy comb. I mean, that's a good bird.
We figured for 0.05, it's already a really good resource, especially since when breeding comes around and tournaments and whatnot. And there's another poker night we're setting up soon too.
Couple of them actually, I think.
Yeah,
we'll have a couple poker nights coming up here relatively soon. One sooner than the other, but they're coming. So and then with the 548 NFT, that gets you into those poker nights that we're talking about. We do a lot of community events. We're going to be having race tourneys down the road, and the amazing stud barn, which houses the chickens that we have been purchasing, that we will be setting up a breeding program down the road that will be given away to holders. So you win a giveaway to breed with this bird. We will let you breed with that bird for hopefully as cheap as we possibly can.
Minimum
costs.
Right.
So we hope that.
So just a little incentive to push them right now and get in early when you can. And all the information is right there on our Twitter at Cock Talk Derby. It's pinned on our profile page. Obviously, you can always pop into the Coop Collective Discord as well and just ask around if you haven't already. But this is as good a time as any. I think we're already at 8 sales now, so we're almost at we're almost up. Yep, we're almost at the first tier unlocking, which is really cool. And when each one comes, barns will be given away as well. And of course, the referral program. If you are already a 548 owner and you refer somebody to buy one, you get yourself into the drawing as well. So a lot of ways.
If they win, you win.
And if they win, you win. Right. So a lot of ways to get in on this. And we just wanted to throw something out there as we get ourselves pumped up for open beta and talents and the whole bit. And this thing's going to start raring and getting rolling.
Just
soon.
need stable racing, right?
Yep. That's it. Stable racing, some talents, and we'll be rocking.
Yes, and if you're just seeing this, make sure you go and check out chicken.tools. We want to thank the Chig for stopping by and explaining it to us and laying out all of the new and cool stuff that's laid out for the premium side. And thanks for staying up late for us. We appreciate your time.
Yep.
Thanks.
Go ahead.
Can I just give a shout out to our partner?
Yeah,
absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, like we partnered up with also bred chickens. So I just want to give them a shout out. So they
for sure.
They also talk about our tools in their podcast, and we also are a member in Also Bred Chickens. So I just wanted to give them a shout out.
Nice, absolutely. Yeah, we're mates of those guys, so why not?
Perfect partnership. Love it.
So, with that, we again want to thank the Chig for stopping by, and thank you for the tool that you put together, you and Cam V. Absolutely love it. Can't wait to see what comes next. We are the Coop Collective. You can check us out in the Coop Collective Discord, which has a link down below in the comments section here. Or you can find us in the Chicken Derby Chicken Coop chat. I am at Grateful Coops. I have at MBF Express above me, and I have Water Racing down in the lower left. And again, thank you, Chig, for stopping by. We are the Cock Talk Podcast, and we'll see you next week, people. Bye.
See ya.
See you around.
Bye.